I'd hate to start two back-to-back reviews the exact same way, but I'm going to start this one with the exact question that I had for Beetlejuice. Did we really need this movie? Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of Blumhouse's remake of the 2022 Danish film of the same name, directed by James Watkins. Speak no evil. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. At the end of the video, if you think I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Speak No Evil pretty much follows the same plot outline as the 2022 original, this time centered around the Dalton family, husband and wife Ben and Louise and their daughter Agnes, played by Scoot McNairy, Mackenzie Davis, and Alex West Leffler, respectively. They're on vacation in Italy when they meet a British couple, James McAvoy's Patty and Aisling Franciosi's Sierra, and their son Ant, played by Dan Huff, and they all hit it off, leaving to the Daltons to receive an invite from Patty and Sierra to join them in their idyllic, kind of secluded country home.
Listen, you have to come and visit. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah? Yeah, done.
But once they arrive there, things immediately seem off. Little by little, Patty and Sierra start to cross social boundaries and seem a little passive-aggressive. And the more weirdness that Ben and Louise allow from them, the more things just continue to get weirder and weirder. Remakes are weird. Most of the time, they're rather pointless and made just to rake in some cash. But sometimes, a remake actually brings something new to the table and has a reason to justify its existence. So which camp does this movie fall under? I'll be honest, I immediately rolled my eyes when I heard that an American remake of the 2022 original was being rushed into production. But I was also curious to see what it held, considering that I wasn't really that big of a fan of the original. In fact, I kind of hated it. I understood the themes and the whole point of the story being a critique of Denmark's overly polite society.
I'm a vegetarian.
I insist.
But even with that, it was just too frustrating of an experience for me to actually enjoy myself watching it. Anyway, though this remake follows a very similar storyline to the original for the first half, including a few frustratingly stupid decisions, there are enough crucial changes and differences here, especially in the last act, that made this, in my opinion, a worthwhile watch. One that I thought was better than the original, the biggest of which being James McAvoy's performance as Patty. McAvoy is an incredibly gifted and versatile actor, and I've always been a fan of his, right from when I saw him as Mr. Tumnus in the first Narnia movie back, holy shit, 19 years ago, and that extends to movies like Wanted, Trance, his X-Men movies, It Chapter 2, and especially his phenomenal performances in Split and Glass. And ever since seeing those two, I've wanted to see him take on more villainous roles. Here, with him playing Patty, I got exactly what I wanted. Throughout the first half of this movie, his genuine display of kindness and charm is really hard to not get sucked into. But still though, things just seem a little off. And as it goes on, keep paying attention to his eyes, because eventually you can 100% see his toxicity, ferocity, and sinister edge that lies behind them. And once the other shoe finally drops, it all just explodes out in a fierce intensity. And from there, he turns into a truly sadistic villain, which doesn't just come from the intensity of his performance, but from how truly horrifying he is, with that pure evil and sadism that you see all over his face. And the fact that physically, he actually looks bigger than when he played a character called the Beast. It's also at that point where the truly big departures from the original movie comes in, and I was hooked like I was on phonics. The sensibilities at this part of the movie are definitely more Hollywood in terms of the amount of violence and suspense and the jump in pacing, but compared to the sheer lack of survival instinct and protective nature that the original couple had in the Danish film, this was actually an exciting thrill ride that felt like an appropriate reward after a slow burn. I said it already, but McAvoy really just turns into a terrifying antagonist at this point. A force of nature that just completely takes over the screen whenever he's on it, and it just added so much suspense and urgency. Aisling Franciosi, unfortunately, definitely stays in a supporting role and doesn't really do much than just kind of be there to help Patty, which was just a little disappointing. If they added so much here and changed so much, why not add more to her character? Our other female lead here, though, Mackenzie Davis, is just an absolute badass as Louise, turning into a mama bear real fast. She definitely becomes the heroine here, doing everything that she can to take care of her family and daughter. And that alone makes it so much more of a satisfying watch than the original, where the parents literally do nothing to help themselves or their child. Scoot McNairy's Ben, on the other hand, is nowhere near the protective father he could be and doesn't really have any badass moments like Louise does. And he doesn't even really start to stick up for his wife and child until it's almost too late. But unlike the original where that pissed me off, I actually kind of loved the way it was done here. With the way his character was written, it honestly felt very intentional, while touching on those themes of being overly polite as to not offend that were rampant in the first movie. Though, like I said, I thought it was all done very well, in a very realistic way that wasn't frustrating like it was with the original's father character. And he does even get a few chances to shine and actually be protective towards the end. And it all just leads to a very cathartic climax and ending ending that actually left me walking out feeling like I enjoyed myself. It's just unfortunate that before we get there, it's pretty much a one-to-one remake of the original, regardless of how well it's acted, shot, and directed. But McAvoy is great to watch throughout. He's definitely the standout of this movie. And there's some added relationship drama and tension that feels realistic between the Daltons that I think that McNary and Davis pull off incredibly well, adding even more believable pathos to their characters. I also appreciated that even though they let a lot of things slide, this version of the couple actually spoke up a lot more than the originals. Alex West Leffler's Agnes and Dan Huff's Aunt were also given a lot more to do here than their Danish counterparts as well, and I thought they had great performances, especially Dan Huff, who says so much through his body language considering the character can't speak. Overall, though it's nowhere near as bleak as the original and sticks very close to it in the first half, the movie really comes alive with suspense, thrills, and a very satisfying climax, staking its own claim as a worthy remake in the second half. And that is all brought home by standout performances from James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis, and Dan Huff. And though die-hard fans of the original will probably be disappointed by how muddied the message was with all of that, I can definitely tell you that it leads to a stronger and more enjoyable viewing experience, one that doesn't make you want to throw yourself off a bridge when you're done. If you've seen the original and weren't really a fan of it and it kind of drove you crazy like it did with me, I would check this out. If you haven't seen the original and you're a fan of slow burn thrillers, definitely check this out. And that's my review of Speak No Evil. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down to the description, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. They'll take you to my review of Beetlejuice, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews and my shorts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Transformers 1.